Hello and welcome to another quick look. This time I'm taking a look at the Grey Goo, a nice new RTS game. So this is gonna be a bit different quick look from the other quick looks probably into this game, because a lot of them are quite focused on the multiplayer of the game. And in my youth, when I was playing RTS games, I used to be a big fan of them back in the days when the Command Conquerors and all the other Warcraft 3 and all those games were out. But I never actually played them online, really, because I'm not really looking for a PvP experience in any games. So my look into the game will be very much focusing on the single player campaign of the game and how the game feels, and if I would recommend it for a single player gamer and not for a multiplayer gamer. There's some really good videos and recommendations from other people who discuss the multiplayer part. I should say it is very, very well done, even though it's nothing genre defining really in there. So the campaign in the game, the single player campaign, which is the one I'm interested in every RTS game, is fairly short in this game. It's only 5 missions per faction, so 15 in total. There's 3 factions: humans, betas, and the Grey Goo. And the big reason for that is that every mission is fully voice acted, and there's usually a animated cutscene before and after the mission. So there's usually 2 cutscenes as well, and that's probably the main reason why the game has only 15 missions. And I was kind of worried about the game having only 15 missions, that it is very, very short compared to some older RTS games like Command Conquerors, Warcraft and all those, or StarCraft, which had pretty much 15 missions per faction, so like 30 plus missions in total. But when I was playing the game, I was playing on normal difficulty, because I'm not a master of RTS games, admittedly, and the difficulty is actually quite high, even on normal. I'm probably actually not good enough to play on normal. I may have to lower it to easy, and it actually does take quite a long time to complete the missions, especially if you fail some of them. They are actually fairly long. The developers say that the missions are supposed to be on average about 45 minutes, and that's pretty much what I did. I played through 7 missions today on the campaign, and it took me about almost 6 hours, so they are quite long. And it seems they kind of lowered the number of missions because they kind of cut off the usual tutorial missions that are in all the RTS games. There is very much a tutorial mission, this first Hunter's Valley, which I will show you in a moment, and then on each faction's first mission it's also very tutorial kind of mission. Betas, as you play them first in the campaign, they are a bit easier, but the difficulty ramps really quickly and you get thrown into the game. And when you get to the human campaign, the first mission is fairly simple as you get used to the human mechanics, and the second mission is already really, really high in the difficulty compared to the previous one, as it kind of expects you to already know how the game pretty much works and just be able to do whatever you are doing. But hopefully they'll actually add a bit more meat to the campaign. Maybe another single player campaign later on. But let's jump into it again. I'll show you how the game works. So I'm gonna skip these cutscenes a bit. There was a cutscene before the loading screen there that showed why they are here. And I'm just gonna skip all of these for now. So it is a very traditional RTS game. You have your structures, you build them. You have resource collectors, you build factories and all that. But quite unique for this is that you usually combine buildings together. So, for example, we have this extractor here, headquarters, and we put a resource collector next to it there, in one of these corners, and then we throw this extractor in there, so we'll start collecting some resources there. And all the buildings on Beta Faction connect to the sides of these buildings, and you need to build more additional hubs to have more sides to connect to. So here's a factory I will connect to. Top part there. So now I have only 2 sides left on this building, and once I build something there, like a silos. I need another hub to connect to. And it's the usual RTS formula here. You have your building information on the top, sorry, bottom left, your map on the right here, your informations, your resources, your population cap, how much resource you're getting at time, and all that, your goals.
We don't have much space here. We need to find room
So here's
to
my
expand.
factory. Let's start pushing out some units. Very normal stuff for all RTS games. This game doesn't really invent the wheel again. It is very, very traditional, like 90s style RTS game. It's also very well, actually it is not very micro heavy. So if you were looking for a RTS game with a lot of abilities to spam and use on every unit, it just doesn't exist. They just don't have any abilities. You just point and click and send your army where you want to, and that's the tactics really on those. No micromanagement really required, and that's actually why I like this quite a lot, and why I like the older RTS games a lot, because I am horrible at RTSs, and if they are very micro heavy, I'm gonna be really bad at them. And this actually allows me to play the RTS game and actually get maybe through the campaign in decent time. Let's get some more units. Let's go make one more marine here, or commando. They're marines, to be honest, and a couple stalkers. Once the other factory gets constructed as well, and I'll make a small death ball and run around.
Factory complete.
So all these buildings are constructed like this, and we can, well, soon construct the hub, and then you can add more buildings. For example, you start with the headquarters, then you have to build a small hub, which is this building, and once you've done a small hub, you can construct a medium hub, when actually the mission allows that, and
Go ahead.
Hostiles spotted!
All hands in the fight. Assisting.
Unit ready.
and then when you build the medium hub, you can build
I
the
just need a target.
large hub. So that's kind of how the
Group, move out.
Tech 3 works.
Direction orders.
This game has elevation, like any good RTS should have. Destructible
All
rocks.
units, this way. Group attack. Come.
The enemy forces are retreating. They may be hiding in that brush.
And this is another really nice mechanic they added into this game compared to some other RTS games. There's these bushes, which are kind of reminiscent of some of the,
Unit introduction.
like a MOBA game style, where you can hide into the bushes and you can only see when you go into the bush.
Give me the word. I'm here.
And it actually adds quite a nice mechanic into this, so you can hide in the bushes. It prevents
Unit
air units from shooting you, well, they can kind of randomly shoot in there and still hit you.
All units, this
And
way.
it also prevents line of sight, so like I can sneak on this guy here and shoot him from the bush here. If I go out, I actually get shot, and when we go back in, I can shoot again, until they actually come into the bush themselves as well.
Let's run them down.
So this is a really nice
All
mechanic.
units, this
This
They
site
added
is
in the game.
perfect for an expansion base.
for the keep. Assist
So-
check, yes.
That
Let's
seems
take
to be an unarmed air scout, but there may be other aircraft around. We'll need to avoid them
Let's
for
get
now,
these
until we can
waypoint
find
there.
some tech attachments.
Some people. So this is the expansion mechanic for betas. So you build these small hubs like this one,
Unit
and it just gets dropped wherever on the map.
Construction.
So there is no builder units or anything. It just gets built,
Right behind
kind of like Protoss teleporting in
you. Stalker awaiting
StarCraft 2.
Stalker.
Doesn't
ready
need power
to
or
run them
anything. It
down.
just drops there,
Unit ready.
and then you can add
Unit
those hub
introduction.
connections
Unit
into that,
ready.
whatever buildings you need there. So that's pretty much
You have a target.
special for these
Small hub complete.
betas. Humans have a bit different construction method. They have these power grids they need to connect to all the time.
Unit ready.
So we built the small hub and the medium is now unlocked. Let's build a new resource collector there. Go.
Beginning construction.
And we need to
Stalker.
take a look at the
Let's run them down.
resources here. So there's
Unit ready.
quite nice
Unit
location
introduction.
there. I can actually build another
Beginning
one
construction.
and put it there as well
Well done.
for some extra.
With the extra resources from that
Resources.
refinery, we can increase our production.
Tell me where to aim.
I don't really actually need
Just
it.
need the target.
But I could make the medium hub now, so this shows you where you can actually build those. So
Extractor
that gets blocked
complete.
if I put it there. And the small one had 2 connections, and the bigger one has 4,
Beginning
and
construction.
the large has 6
Give me the word.
nodes where you can connect your things. So let's wait for this to go complete. And you need to add the factory into those, and then you have these extra modules here, which are tank modules, AI, anti-air module, air module, and stealth module. And those unlock new types of units for you when you do that.
Extractor complete.
So basically, you build a factory module or a large factory module which does 3 units at a time into one of these. Then you attach a tank module into there, so you can finally make some tanks for yourself,
Will assist.
and
Yes. Group.
or add a air module for aircrafts,
New direction.
and stealth units, of
orders.
course, is the stealth. Some units actually require multiple
Run them
modules,
down. All units. This way.
and some actually units require all the modules, so that you can use all the abilities.
Assist.
Unit
Check.
under attack.
Put the
You can also build walls in this game, which is quite fun. I really like when RTS game, or any game, builder game, allows you to build walls. Because walls are really fun to use, and the walls are actually
Under attack.
really cool in this game. You just place the wall, and then you drag wherever you want the wall, and it automatically places these nodes between the walls. And on the betas, you can actually put your marines, your predators, and whatever units you have, guardians, on top of the central pillars, and they can actually shoot from there. And they are actually really tough when they are on those.
Group. Move out. Confirming assist. New direction order.
That's an artillery unit which does a lot of damage,
Like an old outpost.
but it has minimum
Maybe we can
range,
use it.
so if you hug that,
Group
you
attack.
can really easily kill
Check. Let's run them
those
down.
units. Another base location here. There's something else shooting me from
All
there.
units. This way.
So here's my another base. There's a large hub.
This outpost has a tank deck attachment. If we construct a factory here, we'll be able to get some predators on the field.
So predators are the first tank unit you get.
Under attack.
And in these walls, like I said, you can just mount your units onto the wall there, and they act as a turret now.
Attack.
And the walls
We'll
have
need to
actually
repair these structures.
quite a lot
if
of
we're attacked again, they won't last long like this.
health,
Attack.
so you can actually just put a unit there, and it uses the wall's health points instead of using the hit points of the units. And on some missions that helps a ton.
Beginning construction.
So it actually had a
Unit
tank
under
already.
attack.
I just need to the factory in there.
Constructing.
Did you say factory?
I need to pull out.
Repairing.
Let's get the well. That hub is kind of useless there. I just built it there.
Unit under attack.
Could use this hub on the other hand for some money. So I'm just gonna use one of the units to get some visibility here. Build a small hub there. You can actually rotate these buildings as well. So you hold down mouse and you can just decide where the hubs
Beginning
will
construction.
be facing.
Right.
If you have some space issues, sell that building there.
Unit under attack.
Focus fire. Target. Let's run them down. Check. Will assist.
And the third faction in the game, the Goo, actually has no stationary buildings. All their units are very mobile, and you can run wherever you really feel like with them.
Unit introduction. Small hub complete. Constructing.
Like another refinery here
Beginning construction.
Ready for orders.
for some more
Stalker.
resources.
Repair.
But don't shoot my wall, thank you.
This way.
Unit under attack.
Goos basically have a unit called Mother Goo, which is their HQ building or a unit, and they Mother Goo just goes to one of these resource nodes
Commander ready.
to collect resources, and it basically
Beginning
gains
construction.
health, and you use the health to split into smaller units, whatever you want to
Those
make.
predators should make short work of the enemy units we've seen so far.
So here we have some
Unit
predators now.
introduction.
And predators can be mounted on there as well, so let's jump down with that guy and jump with the predator there. And now we have a really nice gun turret there, doing a lot of damage. Although I just lost all my units, so that's not good. And there's a enemy unit loose.
Unit
Oops.
introduction.
Should probably go and kill it. There's actually an artillery piece shooting me from back there.
Awaiting orders.
Probably should dismount this and go kill it.
Unit under attack.
Predator confirms. What attack?
Predators can
Predator
move and shoot as well, so they're really mobile,
Unit ready.
tanky units. There we go.
Harvester under attack. Repairing.
And there's the unit there bothering me with. Humans actually have turrets which they can build.
Harvester
These guys
under
not so
attack.
much.
Attacking now.
You pretty much need to use your units and
ready.
these
Unit introduction.
predators turrets. But
Unit
building walls
under
is a
attack.
really effective defense in this game.
Harvester
At
under
least on
attack.
single player. Cannot
Repair.
comment on really on the multiplayer because I haven't played it and it's actually it's no interest for me.
Unit ready. Unit introduction. Unit ready. Unit in.
I should actually add even more
Construction.
factories. I really like this mechanic of the game because
Constructed.
you can pretty much
Constructed.
build these as you wish and add whatever you want in there. So now I have just a million factories there where I can push units out of. I probably don't have actually money for that. Sell the repair pad. Who needs repair anyways?
Ready for more.
Factory complete. Factory complete. Factory complete.
And we got some
Unit
units.
introduction.
In this game it's also really nice. You can queue up units into the factories, as many as you want. And you can also use this auto rebuild feature. So whenever you build a unit, it gets skilled, it will be automatically rebuilt. So this is a really cool feature. There is also rally points, and you can pause it. And the building uses money only when it's building. It doesn't use them beforehand. Like in many builder, not builder games, but RTS games, when you build something or queue up a unit, it immediately takes you the resources from you. In this game, it actually uses them when it's
Unit ready.
producing the unit.
Unit
So you can just queue up
introduction.
buildings, queue up
Unit
units
ready.
as much as you want, and they'll just build them whenever they have resources for those. So it's a really nice addition to the game. Makes
Here to assist.
the game much
Whatever
more
it
manageable
takes.
for
Let's get going.
potato fingers like me, who has like no RTS skills or no micromanagement skills. And it is a good thing, in my opinion.
Let's
I think that's
punch some holes.
probably enough predators in a moment. Let's add a couple more in there. Did I just queue up them there?
Unit under
Make like
attack.
one cycle of them and then just
Target
roll in
down.
into the
Unit
enemy
ready.
territory.
Unit introduction.
So,
Unit ready.
how do I like this game? I was kinda surprised how much I liked it. Some of the more modern RTSs have been really not for my taste because
Ready for the
it's usually very lackluster campaign and then just focuses on the
under
multiplayer. But this one, it also has big focus on the multiplayer. But the campaign is actually fairly decent and fun if you are looking for a kind of older style RTS
formation.
from 90s when you used to play your original Command Conquerors and stuff. A lot of the developers actually on this game are from the
Proceeding fire.
On the
Westwood,
enemy
who made
base.
the original
Concentrate fire on the larger buildings.
Command Conquerors games. Also, I have the music currently disabled because of YouTube reasons, but the music in this game is very well done. And it is also from the
Predators on the hunt.
same guy who made the music for
Go.
all the Command Conquer games, basically, Frank Clipacci. So this is a human base, and these power nodes are the way to build buildings for humans. So they need to always connect into these power grids. If I actually shoot this conduit cross, it will depower these buildings that are connected to it. There we go. And they have these sentinel turrets. A really cool mechanic for them is that you can actually teleport all your buildings. So you can just lift the building and put it wherever the conduit grid takes it. And you can really quickly move your turrets wherever they are needed. You can redesign your base layout if you have some issues with that. And do whatever you want with that. So it's actually very, very nice mechanic in that. Big problem with humans is that they actually are really bad at expanding. So, because they need to be connected to the grid, they cannot really do like a hub elsewhere. So there's a cutscene, I'm just gonna skip that. The cutscenes are really extremely well done, and they really bring out the soul of the game. It's really well done and cool. And that's actually the reason why the campaign is actually so short, that every mission has 1 or 2 cutscenes that are totally voice acted and very well animated and very high quality. Especially the lady in the human campaign, she looks almost lifelike, and I was really surprised of the quality of the animation. So that's basically how the missions go. That's just the first mission. Took me 60 minutes or so, more like 20 minutes in real time. And yeah, I did take some time explaining things while I was going, but it was decently long for a first mission. Let me return to the campaign map. Here's the campaign map, so here's the missions and where the campaign goes. So first, these missions are for betas, then you go humans, and then you go Grey Goo as the last part of the campaign. You can change the difficulty at any point of the campaign, so if you start at hard, or say normal or something, you feel the game is too easy, too hard for you, you can just bump up the difficulty or lower the difficulty at any point of the campaign, which is really nice. In some games you need to play from the start to get a higher difficulty or lower difficulty when you need to change that. The game also has really good settings for everything, so you can change everything from the options menu here. A lot of gameplay changes or features. You have the mouse scrolling and all kinds of information there. You have the video settings here, and they are actually quite good. There's a lot of resolution selection. There is a lot of advanced video options. The game is quite tough on your system. I lowered this because of the mission, 5th mission. If you have barely good computer for this, and maybe you're streaming or recording a video like I did, the 5th mission on the campaign with the betas will make your PC cry. There's a lot of things going on in there, and it's quite horrible. I would have actually preferred it was a bit less of stuff in there. I won't spoil what is in there, but it's a cool mission. And audio settings, hotkeys. You can actually hotkey pretty much everything here. Between factions, you have all the camera information, groupings, and you can even change some key bindings unit specific. For example, for a Mother Goo, which needs a kind of different way to play the game than the other stuff. And then you have a nice encyclopedia as well here for some information about all the units, all these factions here. Like here's the Goo faction, so you have a Mother Goo and large Proteans, small Proteans, and how you make all the units. Here's human tech 3 basically, and beta tech 3. You can see the structures, tech upgrades, and read through all of these. They're really well done. So it's a really solid RTS, and it is quite pricey at the moment, I have to admit that. But if you are looking for a really nice solid RTS from the 90s style RTS games, I highly recommend getting this game. Maybe on a sale, maybe later. It's definitely going to be more worth for you if you are playing the multiplayer. Here's the multiplayer options. if it actually loads. So there's matchmaking through Steam. There's some LAN matches. You can also do skirmishes here in single player against the AI. The map selection is quite low, as you can see at the moment. Only 8 maps at the moment. But there's been rumors of map editor coming out, so you can probably expect a lot of maps to arrive at some point. And I'm sure they will use something like a Steam Workshop to share the maps. So it's gonna be a really nice feature. So that's pretty much my look at the Grey Goo. If you like RTS games from your 90s era, this is a very solid one to take a look at. I like it. I recommend it highly. But that's it for me this time. Take a look at my other recommendations as well on the curator page and also on my YouTube. There's also some Let's Plays, tutorials, guides, all kinds of stuff on my YouTube to look at. I also stream almost every day on twitch.tv on my /Billionaire channel there. And it's games, strategy games like this, builder games, management games, same as the curator group. And also follow me on Twitter, Patreon, and all this other information that's below the video. So I'll see you guys on the next quick looks and on my other content, so have a nice time.